Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would love to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught us this truth. Blessings and safety to the men, women, and children that believe on the name Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in truth and sincerity. To you, I say shalom. And I'm the brother Ma'ah Quadar from the Great Millstone Camp here in Cleveland. And Yahweh Rat Desire, I'm a part of the elect. This is just a short vision or a dream that I had, and I'm just gonna, tell, what I remember, okay? Because it was very, very short, or I just remember portions of it. I was walking, and I could see a fire from afar away. It was like kind of far, and I remember calling somebody, like, man, it's a fire from afar off. I can see the smoke, but I can see the flames. Usually, you could tell it's a fire from afar, like far away, because you could see the smoke in the air. But I could see the flames in the air. So after I hung up the phone, I just keep walking, and I realized that fire was spreading, but it was coming my way. And it was thermonuclear fire, man. All right. So as I'm still walking, it's getting hotter and hotter. It's getting hot. Like the flames hasn't reached me yet, but it's just getting hot, man. Like real hot, to where I can feel it, like as if I'm in a sauna, but hotter. So when I looked to my left, the fire was coming my way. And the fire actually I was actually in the midst of the fire. Like it was on me. And it was burning me, but it wasn't burning me. It was like I can see that I was on fire, but I can feel it, but I couldn't feel it. Which means it wasn't like painful. It was bearable, but I was on fire. So I'm praying to Yahweh Shemi Awashah. I'm like, Yahweh Shemi Awashah, Baba Kashah, deliver me, Baba Kashah, Yahweh Shemi Awashah. I'm just praying to the Lord, And after like a few minutes, and it's another thing too, man. When you pray to the Lord, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, all right? When you praying to the Lord, the Lord, he answers prayers when he wants to. All right? You may pray for something, and the Lord may not act on your prayer for months. And I said that to say this, man. I was praying to the Lord for minutes, and like I said, I'm the fire is burning me, but it's not burning me, which means like I can pretty much like, it's like I'm not screaming, but I'm panicking because I'm scared, because I'm thinking like the Lord ain't gonna save me. So, the fire is on me, and it's like I said, it's burning me. And then, next minute I know after keep praying and praying, the Lord, I start being lifted in the air. But like I said, the fire is still on me, So I get to a certain part in the air to where the fire is not on me anymore. So I'm getting beamed up. I can see the chariot. All right. And then you got Apostle Tahar. He was outside of the chariot. And he was floating. He was hovering. And he was checking something. I can't remember what he was checking. But once he checked me, Okay, all right. He said, you know, you can go up into the chariot. You know, I didn't get fully in the chariot because I don't know the reason why, of course, but when I stick my head up in the chariot, I look before me, and there was two like angels. You know, they were so-called black men. They was dark skinned. I want to say their garments was green or purple with the yellow trimming, but they had like real rhinestones, like real gems, like real stones, you know, on their garments, like the actual stones. Like they was, you know, like it was like, you know, multiple different stones, like real, and they was like sparkling. And like I started crying, and they smiled at me. Like it was one of those smiles like it was I can't explain the smile that they gave me, but it was just like a happy to see me smile. And I all I could do but cry. So, you know, I looked to my left and I saw a brother. You know, I don't know this brother, but I know he's a brother. And he kind of favored Elder Uriah. And I looked, I said, that's Elder Uriah? And, you know, the brother, like, he smiled at me as well, you know. And I woke up in Elder Uriah's house. It was crazy, you know, and that's pretty much all I remember. Like, it could have been way more, but I can only remember those details. And, you know, what I got out of that you know dream was, you know, it made me think of First Peter the fourth chapter, verse 18, right? It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? All right. It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, let's go into this word scarcely.
Strong's G 3433. Malis.
All right. It says, with difficulty, hardly, not easy, scarcely, very rarely. Okay. So the righteous, the elect, is going to barely make it out of this. All right. And it was like I said in my dream, the fire was on me. You know, I can feel it. It was burning me, but it wasn't like painful. It was something that I can bear. You know, and you know I was calling upon the Lord, man, and after a while, he beamed me up. You know, and we got to keep this in mind that, you know, hey, because you got, you know, individuals such as Nate, okay, teaching that, you know, the elect is not going to have to go through Jacob's trouble, man. That's not biblical, okay? The elect is barely going to make it out of here, man. Okay, we're going to have to go through things as well, and through faith and, you know, wisdom and knowledge, you know, we're going to be stable, okay? Hey, we might go, you know, days without eating, and, you know, when the famine comes, man, a day or two, okay? But we know that the Lord is going to feed us, okay? We have faith, okay? You know, we may get through in a concentration camp, you know? We may get our head put under a guillotine, you know? But hey, man, we don't know. Hey, the Lord can deliver us at the last minute. Wait, anyway, if it's death or if the Lord deliver you, it's all a deliverance, man. You know? If we remain, you know, if we get, hey, it's all a deliverance, man. Okay, but we're gonna, you know, barely make it, man. And like I said, man, it was crazy because like the fire was literally, like I was praying to the Lord, the fire was like burning. It was on me. But the Lord had it to where it wasn't like painful. You know, if that makes sense, you know, but I still was in the midst of the fire, but he took me out of the fire, you know? And it also made me think about Daniel the 3rd chapter, you know? And I'm gonna just get straight to the point, dealing with, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, how they was actually put in the midst of that fire. We don't know how the Lord is going to deliver us. All we know is that if we are part of the elect, we're going to get delivered, man. Shit, a building can be about to fall on us, man, and the Lord beam us up right then. We don't know, man. And that's the scary thing about it, man. But this is Daniel 3, and I'm gonna start at 15. All right. It says, "Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, and harp, and sackbut, or psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made well. But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that power or that God, okay, that shall deliver you out of my hands?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. And if it be so, our power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, Shalakia, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy power, thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them in the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in the coats, their horsens, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning furnace, man. So, they refused to worship Nebuchadnezzar's image, man. And they heated up the furnace 7 times more. They threw on extra clothing on Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they threw them in a burning, a fiery furnace, right? It says, "And therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace." Okay. And when they fell down, what you think they were doing? Okay. They were worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay. Because even when you go into the song of the 3 holy children, okay, they were pretty much worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, and pretty much telling the Lord how righteous he was for pretty much doing that unto them. And that's what we got to do as well. When we going through this, when we're going through anything. All right, and it's truth, man. Or when Jacob's trouble, hey, we gotta worship Yahweh Shem Yahushua all the way to the end, no matter what the outcome is, And so let's just keep reading on this. It says, "Then Nebuchadnezzar," verse 24. "Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we see 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God, man. The Son of Yahweh, man. Son of God, man. That was Yahweh Shah, man. you know. So yeah, man. That was just a quick hit, you know. Lord, whether it was edifying, and I'm going to end giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.